Good day, good morning, good afternoon. Time for another Guru's Rant. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're enjoying these. If you enjoy them, please hit like and please click subscribe. That way the YouTube algorithm will allow these videos to show up. Otherwise, they just sort of disappear in YouTube limbo land. I wanted to talk to you today about culture, Silat culture, Indonesian culture, Kuntao culture, and one of the aspects of the culture is this idea that your martial art, your Silat, your Kuntao Silat, becomes part of your daily life. What does that mean? So there's a saying that a lot of my martial art teachers would say. The English version is, as it is in life, it is in martial art. It's very common. This idea, you see Musashi talk about it in the Book of Five Rings. Basically, what it means is you slowly but consistently bring the martial art into your daily life, and you bring your daily life into the martial art. What does that mean? When you're training, you learn to train throughout the entire day, and you break it up throughout the day so that you can train different things. And ultimately, you look at the bigger picture and you learn to train every day. You learn to train seasonally. You learn to train for several years. You have a goal or something that you want to work on for a long time. I'll give you an idea. One time, Uncle Bill, my teacher, my Sarak main teacher, he's my babak. Babak is like Sifu or father in the martial arts. One of the things he asked me to do was to train one specific thing for an entire year. And he said, do it every day. So that's what I did. You can apply that to anything, any technique, any jurus, lanka, kuda. Jurus are hand forms. We've been talking about these lately. Lanka are postures. Lanka's footwork or platforms that you can put the jurus on, and you can put the postures on. And kuda are the postures. Sometimes they're called sikap. Sikap is also like warrior poses, similar to yoga. So you could practice one thing and do it every day for a month, 2 months, 3 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years. You'll get a lot of benefit from that sort of thing. The other idea is throughout your daily life, no matter what you're doing, you are remembering your martial principles. Proper body mechanics, breath work, relaxation, conserving energy. One of the things that I learned from Dr. Glenn Morris, my ninjutsu instructor and my qigong instructor, was the idea that every hour that you're awake, you take 5 to 10 minutes of that hour to do some type of practice, some type of meditation or qigong or martial practice. Okay? Uncle Willem does the same thing, except it's like throughout the whole day. So he'll do a task, whatever task he's got to do, and in between the task, he'll do a few jurus, or he'll do some weight training, or he'll do some type of strength or Kuntao conditioning, and then he'll get back to his daily task. So this is something that you can integrate, and it's phenomenal. And if you look at modern day athletes that are really successful, particularly Olympic athletes, they tend to train something similar like this. They call it high frequency training. Okay? And you look at like the strength training and powerlifting or Olympic lifting community, you have like the Bulgarian method, which you train every day, or you train almost every day, pretty heavy. It's the same type of idea, and I think this goes back to old martial culture, old Shaolin, old Kuntao, old Silat culture, where it's like you're constantly training no matter what you're doing. So if you're at a red light, you have an opportunity to practice something. You're sitting at your desk at work and you have time. Once you've finished your tasks, you have a few minutes to do some breathing exercises or to mentally do the jurus. You don't have to do the training physically. It can be in your mind as well. And that's something that Olympic athletes do. They visualize and they basically meditate and self-hypnotize themselves into the motion and the feeling of getting the motion done of what they're trying to do in their sport. And they see themselves achieving it, and then they project into it their intent, their energy, their breath. And then when they go out to do the sport, they tend to perform better. So you can do this as a Silat practitioner or Kuntao practitioner. This is very common, actually. One of the things that I learned from Uncle Willem is not just do the jurus physically, but to sit in meditation and visualize yourself doing the jurus slow, soft, or fast and explosive. Imagine what it would look like perfect, what it would look like with a perfect expression, whatever expression you're trying to achieve. So these are tools that you see across the board in martial arts and in champion type sports like Olympic sports, powerlifting, Olympic lifting, high performance, athleticism. You see it also in the military. In the military, they will visualize and pre-plan things to the best of their ability, and then they go out and execute that plan. Well, this is no different. So this has to do with what we're talking about, making your daily life your martial art, and your martial art your daily life. Another great concept I got from Dr. Glenn Morris was that human beings like bad habits. So you have to trick the monkey mind to think that training or strength training or stretching or qigong or breath work or meditation is a bad habit. Then all of a sudden you're going to cultivate a liking to do it more. And he used to tell me it was like people who like to have a cigarette break. We know that cigarette breaks are bad for you, but what if you tricked your mind in thinking, oh, my Silat training is my smoking break, or my conditioning is my break, or my qigong is my break, and then this slowly gets you to a place where you're integrating into every part of your life a little bit of training, a little bit of cultivation, a little bit of work. Like they say kung fu means work or hard work, or qigong means energy work. It goes back to what we talked about, the philosophy of Silat. Some say Silat is your martial art, but according to Uncle Willem, my teacher, Silat is the achievement of your training. So if you look at it that way, if you haven't successfully trained, you don't really have the right to say what you do is Silat. You have to achieve your Silat, okay? So anyhow, that's something that I wanted to share with you, with my students, with my friends, colleagues, martial art colleagues. And you can apply this to anything. It doesn't have to be martial art. You can apply it to music. If you're a musician, I apply this to my music all the time. I practice, when I get into these modes of practicing my instrument, I will try to do, 5 minutes every once in a while throughout the day, or I'll try to do like a good solid hour, and then I'll also think about my practice, running my scales and things like this. You can apply this to any type of activity. You can even apply it to work. Let's say you have a difficult task at work and you want to know how to do something better. Run it in your mind, play it in your mind, visualize the task, visualize and focus on how that task will be if you performed it perfectly, and then play it through your mind and then release it out into the world with your breath, and then go to work and see what happens. You'll probably perform better. Anyhow, so these are little tidbits that I've learned from my teachers, and I just want to share them with you. Take care. God bless.